Hi, welcome to Lynn's Romance Library. I'm Lynn, and today I have a book haul. So, I live in a pretty rural part of the country in a small town, so I don't have a lot of options close to my house where I can go book shopping. About the only place that carries books is my local Walmart. So, unless I want to drive like an hour away, which I don't often get to do. But I am in education, so I've had some time off and I visited my parents, and they live in a major metro area in the Midwest. And so I had some goodies that I got to purchase while I was visiting them. And so I'm going to walk through what I bought. This is the only books that I have bought in 2023. So I am on a budget. This is only about $60 worth of books. I bought some secondhand. You will see stickers on most of them because I am lazy, but I just want to share that not all of us buy tons of books. I use Libby and Hoopla very extensively, as well as Kindle Unlimited, and I just kind of want to share what my book purchasing has been like. I budget only about one book a month, but I don't physically purchase them often. I don't necessarily buy books online to be delivered to my house. So that's just kind of a little bit about me and my choices with purchasing books. So first up, I went to a local independent bookstore that was close to the town, and I got A Promise of Fire. This is a fantasy romance series that features 3 books that follow the same couple, Cat and Griffin. Cat is a mystical being called a kingmaker that can feel or divine truth from lies and experiences great pain when she is lied to. She has run away and has been living in fear at a circus for a long time until the hero Griffin finds her and basically kidnaps her for the use of his kingdom, well, technically his sister's kingdom. And so over the course of the first book, she is reluctantly helping, and they come together and they start a relationship. And then later I went to I went to my local Barnes and Noble that I was visiting and picked up the second book, Breath of Fire. I have read Promise of Fire, but I have not started Breath of Fire yet. This picks up directly after the end of A Promise of Fire, where we know a little bit more about Cat's history. There's some political machinations that are starting to build, and it's going to be a very interesting ride. I can't wait to pick this up. So these were 2 that I bought new, and they were probably the most expensive purchase, or they were the more expensive purchases because they were new, but they are great quality. Then I also have a half price books that was local, and I went on 2 different occasions and ended up with a total of, I went on 2 different occasions, but I only purchased 3 books. My second trip, the first trip, I didn't find anything really worth good. So the first thing that I found was Schooling the Duke by Christi Caldwell. I've heard some about this author. She has historical romances that are on Kindle Unlimited. She is independent. So she had been on my radar to kind of pick up. And when I saw a physical book, it's the #1 in a series. It appears to be a second chance. The heroine is a guardian for a younger child, and the hero is basically inherits or becomes responsible for this child. And so the heroine is transferring with the child, and it's becomes like a governess. And so they have had a past together and they're trying to get back together. So I'm very excited to pick this up when I'm in the mood for historical. I read a lot of my historicals by audiobook, so I don't know when I'll be getting to it, but I'm very excited for this. And then the next one was Lady Danger by Glynnis Campbell. So this is a medieval or Viking historical romance. Our heroine is supposed to be a strong heroine and ends up in a hero's crosshairs. Let me see. Oh, right. This is one that didn't have a lot in the back of the book, and I had to look it up on Goodreads to find more information. But basically, strong warrior female that gets caught in the crosshairs. And so she ends up reluctant. So I'm interested by this. I don't know obviously much. I'm not going to try and figure out more to tell y'all what it is, but if it's good, I will be sure to share. And then the last one that I got at Half Price Books is Night Pleasures by Sherrilyn Kenyon. This is a hardback edition, so I really enjoy having a physical book, and this is on my TBR for a long time. I think in some of my previous videos I've mentioned that one of my things is I like to get recommendations from Smart Women Read Romance, the podcast. So this is one of their paranormal books that they covered, and I'm a big paranormal girly, so I figured I stand a good chance of liking this story. So this is technically book 2 in the overall world, but first in a series. I am undecided if I'll start with that first book in the overall universe or if I'll straight into this one. But this is about a immortal hero that basically wakes up tied to his worst nightmare, an accountant. And our heroine is a reluctant main character. She wants a boring, normal life as an accountant, but gets drawn into this mystical world. And so I'm very interested to figure out what about this world is interesting. This is a staple in the paranormal romance genre, similar to Immortals After Dark by Alone and like Alone Andrews and all of these other kind of classics. This is an older published book. I think it came out in 2002 maybe. Let's see. Not finding a copyright page. 2005. So this is almost 20 years old, so I am hoping that it still ages pretty well. Normally the like 05s to 010s are kind of dicey. If you go before 2000, it's definitely dicey, and then post about 2010 to 2015-ish, I think they're probably pretty strong. But this is an interesting choice, and so I'm excited to have it. And so those are the ones that I picked up when I was out of town. Then my most recent trip to Walmart, I was reorganizing some things, and that's why we're at a different spot. I cruised the book section, and typically I don't want to support Walmart or big box and their books just because they buy books at such a bargain. You don't feel like you're really supporting the authors or the quality's bad. But this one was $5, which is a steal. The quality is not as nice as I would prefer, but it's House of Salt and Sorrow. This is a fantasy romance that was recommended to me by Jess at Honest Fiction. She recently had recently as in probably 6 months ago, had a recommendation video where she had pulled on Instagram for recommendations for specific tropes, and I had submitted a box saying I wanted a fairy tale retelling that wasn't Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast, because those are the main ones that we see. And so this is, I believe, the 12 Dancing Ladies or something like that. And so our heroine lives in a sheltered estate. She's lost a bunch of her sisters and is selected, I believe. I haven't read much about the back. I basically figured out enough to figure out that it was the same book that Jess had recommended me. And so I'm interested to see what this book is about. It doesn't look to be terribly long. I do have the audio at my Libby for my public library, so I may choose to listen to this in audio, but I was excited to find a book that was actually on my TBR that isn't super contemporariness, because I'm not much of a contemporary reader, as we've figured out by this stack. So we shall see. And then I haven't done a formal haul with any of these, with some of these other books, but over Christmas break, I did buy some other books that I hauled on Instagram, but because most of these are on my TBR stack, I do have the Bookworm box edition of Before Time Runs Out by Amy Mateo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That is still on my TBR, and so I purchased this around Christmas at the same half price books. I also purchased a signed copy of Real by Kennedy Ryan and Arrogant Devil by R.S. Gray. I've read both of those, so they weren't in my TBR pile as well as the book haul piles. So anyway, it was a pretty quick video. I'm not really going to edit this because I have all of the books here, and I feel like I talked somewhat eloquently. Please don't make fun of me if I haven't. But I wanted to get a video out because I haven't had one in a while, and I wanted to get back into this. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know which of these I need to prioritize, because some of these sound really good and I have been trying to get to a lot of these books. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Bye.